7 secrets to grow endless bell peppers at home. No digging, just simple care. Stop struggling with garden beds and grow endless bell peppers with my simple no-dig system. Today, we're sharing the 7-step blueprint to transform basic containers into high-yield pepper factories with zero digging. Whether you have a backyard or a balcony, these secrets will keep your plants loaded with fruit all season long. One, choose the right variety and master the germination heat. Success with an endless bell pepper harvest starts before you ever touch the soil. Most beginners choose generic seeds, but you should look for compact patio varieties specifically for containers. These plants focus energy on fruit rather than tall stems, making them perfect for no-dig setups. When you choose a high-yield hybrid, you ensure the plant has the genetic potential to produce all season. It is vital to check the maturity date to ensure your weather stays warm enough for ripening. By starting with the right genetics, you remove most of the struggle before the season begins. Once you have seeds, the biggest hurdle is temperature because pepper seeds are notoriously stubborn and hate chills. They are tropical and will sit dormant or rot if the soil stays below 75 degrees. I recommend the paper towel method inside a plastic bag placed on a warm spot like a fridge. This creates a humid mini greenhouse that triggers seeds to sprout faster than in cold, damp dirt. You must check the bag daily because once a root appears, it needs soil immediately. This controlled start ensures every seed has the best chance of becoming a strong and productive plant. After sprouting, you must provide intense light to prevent the seedlings from becoming leggy or weak. Place your light source very close to the leaves to force the plant to grow thick. If the stem stretches too much early on, it cannot support the weight of heavy peppers later. A weak foundation is the main reason plants fail, so think of this as building a core. By keeping them warm and brightly lit now, you guarantee a robust plant that needs no extra support. This simple attention to detail early on makes the rest of your gardening journey much more successful. Two, create living soil that feeds the plant for you. In a no-dig container system, the soil quality is everything since roots cannot travel deep for nutrients. You should never use backyard garden soil because it is too heavy and will eventually crush roots. Instead, create a custom mix using potting soil combined with coconut coir to keep it light. This texture allows the roots to breathe and expand without resistance, which is essential for high yields. When you squeeze a handful, it should feel soft and springy rather than a hard, muddy clump. Starting with this perfect physical structure ensures your peppers have the ideal environment to grow large all summer. Nutrition is the next step, and the secret is building a living soil that feeds the plant automatically. Mix in organic worm castings or aged compost right at the start to provide slow-release nutrients. These components contain microbes that break down food for the plant, mimicking a healthy natural forest floor. This approach allows you to avoid constant measuring of synthetic liquid fertilizers that can lead to salt buildup. By front-loading the nutrition, you ensure your bell peppers have a steady supply of nitrogen and potassium. This is the heart of no-dig gardening, where you feed the soil so the soil feeds the plant. Finally, you must ensure the soil has perfect drainage to prevent wet feet, a common killer of peppers. Mix in perlite to create permanent air pockets that allow excess water to flow through easily. If roots sit in stagnant water, they can begin to rot, causing the leaves to yellow. You want to see water draining out of the bottom almost immediately after you finish watering. This balance of moisture retention and drainage creates an environment where the plant can thrive without any digging. With this soil setup, your only job is to watch the peppers grow and harvest them safely. Three, size matters. Choosing the perfect home and location. Many gardeners fail because they underestimate how much root space a bell pepper plant truly needs. If you use a small pot, the roots become root-bound, signaling the plant to stop producing fruit. To get an endless supply, you need a container holding at least 5 gallons of soil for growth. A larger soil volume also stays moist longer, which prevents the plant from wilting in the heat. Think of the container as the engine. A bigger engine will always produce more energy and fruit. Giving the roots plenty of space is the easiest way to ensure the plant stays productive until frost. Once you have the right container, place it in a location that gets 8 hours of sun. Peppers are solar-powered machines that require intense light to convert nutrients into sweet, crunchy sugars. Without enough direct sunlight, your plant will grow leaves but very few flowers or actual peppers. You should observe your space for a day to identify the spot with the most afternoon warmth. However, be careful of extreme heat in midsummer, as young peppers can sometimes get burned by sun. Finding that sweet spot of maximum light without overheating is the key to a long-lasting harvest. The final piece of the location puzzle is protecting your plants from cold drafts that stunt growth. Peppers are sensitive to temperature drops, so placing them near a brick wall or concrete patio helps. These materials absorb sun during the day and release heat at night, keeping your plants happy. This extra warmth encourages the plant to continue setting flowers even as the weather begins to cool. If you live in a windy area, provide a simple windbreak to prevent delicate branches from snapping. By choosing a warm, sunny, and sheltered home, you create the perfect microclimate for endless peppers. Four, the deep soak watering rule to prevent stress. Watering is where most gardeners go wrong, but a no-dig container system requires a specific approach to keep production high. You should never water your bell peppers on a strict calendar schedule. Instead, you must learn to read the soil's moisture levels. Stick your finger an inch into the dirt, and if it feels dry, it is time for a thorough watering. Consistency is the secret to preventing blossom end rot, a common issue where the bottom of the pepper turns black. By keeping the moisture level steady, you ensure the plant can transport calcium effectively to the developing fruit. A stable water supply tells the plant it is safe to keep producing flowers for an endless harvest. When you do water, you must perform a deep soak rather than giving the plant frequent, shallow sips. Pour water slowly until you see it flowing freely out of the drainage holes at the very bottom of the pot. This method encourages the roots to grow deep into the container rather than staying near the hot surface. Shallow watering leads to weak roots that cannot sustain the weight of a heavy pepper load during the summer. Deeply established roots make the plant much more resilient to heat waves and unexpected dry spells throughout the season. This simple technique is the foundation of a low-maintenance, high-yield garden that doesn't require constant digging or intervention. Lastly, you should always aim the water at the base of the plant and avoid getting the leaves wet. Wet foliage is an open invitation for fungal diseases and bacterial spots that can quickly ruin your entire crop. Watering early in the morning is the best practice because it allows any accidental splashes to evaporate before the sun goes down. If you water at night, the moisture sits on the plant, creating a breeding ground for pests and rot. 5. Pruning for power and the first flower sacrifice. To get an endless supply of peppers, you have to be brave enough to prune the plant in its early stages. The most important secret is pinching off the very first flower that appears on your young pepper plant. While it feels wrong to remove a potential pepper, this sacrifice forces the plant to put energy into its roots and leaves. A plant that fruits too early will stay small and stunted, producing only a few peppers before it gets exhausted. By waiting just 2 extra weeks, you build a massive solar panel of leaves that can support dozens of peppers later. This initial pruning step is the difference between a mediocre harvest and a truly legendary one. As the plant grows, you should also focus on topping the main stem once it reaches about 12 inches in height. Sniping off the very top growing tip encourages the plant to grow outward rather than just upward, creating a bushy shape. A bushier plant has more nodes, and more nodes mean more places for flowers and fruit to eventually grow. This creates a sturdy, self-supporting structure that can handle the weight of heavy bell peppers without needing complex stakes. You are essentially training the plant to be a high-production machine through a few simple, strategic cuts. This no-dig shaping technique maximizes your vertical space while keeping the plant healthy and manageable in its container. Finally, keep an eye on the bottom of the plant and remove any leaves that are touching the soil. These sucker leaves are the most likely to pick up soil-borne diseases or provide a bridge for crawling pests. By clearing out the bottom few inches of the stem, you improve the airflow around the base of the plant. Better airflow keeps the plant cool and prevents the humid conditions that allow mold to grow on the fruit. Six. The gentle shake and natural pollination hacks. Even a perfectly healthy pepper plant won't produce fruit if the flowers aren't pollinated, which is a common silent failure. Bell peppers have perfect flowers, meaning they contain both male and female parts and can pollinate themselves with a little help. If your plant is in a sheltered area with no wind, the pollen might stay trapped inside the flower. A simple secret is to give your plants a gentle shake or a light tap on the main stem every morning. This tiny vibration is enough to knock the pollen loose and ensure that every flower turns into a pepper. This manual boost is especially helpful if you are growing your peppers on a screened-in balcony or patio. While peppers can self-pollinate, attracting natural helpers like bees and hoverflies will significantly increase your overall yield. You should place a few pots of bright flowers like marigolds or basil near your peppers to act as a beacon. These companion plants not only bring in pollinators, but also help repel common pests like aphids that hate the strong scents. A garden with high biodiversity is always more productive and requires much less work from the gardener to stay healthy. When bees visit your flowers, they do the work of pollination for you, leading to larger and more symmetrical fruit. This natural partnership is a key component of a successful, low-effort, no-dig garden that produces fruit all season. You should also be aware of blossom drop, which happens when temperatures get too high for pollination to occur successfully. If the weather stays above 90 degrees Fahrenheit, the pollen can become sterile, causing the flowers to fall off the plant. During these extreme heat waves, providing a bit of afternoon shade can help keep the flowers cool enough to set fruit. Seven. Harvest early and often to trigger a growth loop. The final secret to an endless harvest is understanding that the plant's main goal is to produce seeds for reproduction. If you leave a bell pepper on the branch until it is fully ripe and starts to wrinkle, the plant thinks its job is done. It will stop producing new flowers because it has successfully created mature seeds to carry on its genetic line. To prevent this shutdown, you must harvest your first few peppers while they are still green and slightly smaller than full size. This tricks the plant into a state of urgency, forcing it to pump out even more flowers to try again. By picking fruit early and often, you keep the plant in a perpetual state of high-speed production all summer. As the season progresses, you should use sharp scissors or garden snips rather than pulling the peppers off by hand. The stems of bell pepper plants are surprisingly brittle and can snap easily, damaging the nodes where future fruit would grow. A clean cut prevents jagged wounds that could invite disease or pests into the main vascular system of the plant. It also ensures that you don't accidentally pull the entire plant out of its loose, no-dig potting soil. Each time you make a clean harvest, the plant redirects its nutrients to the tiny buds waiting just below the cut. This surgical approach keeps the plant healthy and ready to support the next wave of crunchy, delicious bell peppers. To keep the endless cycle going into late autumn, you must keep the plant's energy levels high with a mid-season nutrient boost. After your second big harvest, add a fresh layer of compost or a handful of organic fertilizer to the top of the container. This replaces the minerals that were used up to create those first few batches of heavy, water-filled fruit. Think of this as a refueling stop for your pepper machine so it doesn't run out of gas before the first frost arrives. Conclusion: growing endless bell peppers at home doesn't have to be a back-breaking chore filled with digging and constant tilling. By focusing on the right variety, building a living soil, and mastering the simple art of picking to grow, you can enjoy fresh produce all year. Remember that gardening is a partnership with nature, and these 7 secrets are designed to make that partnership as easy as possible. You now have the blueprint to transform a small sunny corner into a high-yield pepper factory with just a few minutes of care each week. Start your seeds today, follow these simple steps, and get ready to harvest more peppers than you ever thought possible.